Opening weekend of the Rugby Europe Super Cup takes us to Siberia, Krasnoyarsk, Russia, the site, as the Eastern Conference will kick things off in just moments, live here from Avant-Garde Stadium. Hello, everybody, alongside Ali Engelhardt of the New England Free Jacks. I am Tom Eschen here with you on the call, and Ali, the dawn of a new era in European competition in rugby. We saw it yesterday on full display with Delta and the Brussels Devils and the Lusitanos and Castilla y León Iberians all in action, and now we get a look at the Eastern Conference side of things today. I'm excited to see these teams in action.
Thanks so much, Tom. It is fantastic to be here with you. We saw some great competitive rugby on the field in the opening weekend of the Super Cup. I cannot wait to see what these two Russian club teams are going to bring today. You know that they've been used to their teammates. You know that they're used to playing at this level. I think the excitement, the adrenaline from the new comp is really going to excite things and get the fans and the players going.
So a little bit of a different feel here today. Yesterday, of course, we saw the Netherlands and Belgium. They were the focus in the first game of the day, 34-13, Delta beating the Brussels Devils. And then the second game of the day, Lusitanos from Portugal defeating those from Spain, the Iberians, 34-19. Here we have two Russian sides, club teams that have a lot of experience, of course, playing with each other professionally as well. How do you think that might change things here today?
You know, I think these players are going to be ready for a big physical match on the field. You know, I think the experience with a lot of these players vying for a national team spot, they're vying for that Rugby World Cup spot, not only for this next season, but they're looking to have that home opportunity to represent Russia with the 2027 and 2030 bids for the Rugby World Cup.
Yes, that Russia definitely is interested in hosting those as well, and we'll see how that all transpires as time goes on. But these two met just a few days ago, a couple weeks ago now, and I think I'm excited to see their rematch as we look once more at these fixtures in round one, and you see the results from yesterday. Two good battles, Ali, just looking back at our opening day yesterday, and they were pretty close throughout, and we just saw, you know, at the end of the day, that was Delta and the Lusitanos who came out on top. I can't wait to see what the rematch looks like next weekend.
Absolutely. You know, the variety of the game plan really took me by surprise, and it was actually a fantastic example of the players trying to mix up their match strategy throughout the match. You know, we had confidence in the forward pack, good running lines, not afraid to throw a little bit of an offload here or there. I think it was the kicking game that really stood out and helped those two teams get the edge early on in the match. They're looking for those chips in behind and made those defensive walls have to hold themselves back. You know, created the opportunities out wide, and we saw those teams that were able to find that space where there was none. Those were the teams that were able to exploit and actually get the points on the board early.
You can see the sun setting here over Avant-Garde Stadium in Krasnoyarsk, Russia. We're located in the middle of Siberia. Should be a beautiful evening here for some rugby, in which the temperature is right around 60 degrees, dropping into the 50s. So not as cold as you might think of Siberia normally if you're, you know, in the United States or wherever you might be listening to us. But Siberia gets a bad rap. It's a beautiful evening, as you can see the fans well adorned in knit caps, long sleeves, and whatnot. So a little chiller than what we saw yesterday in Western Europe region. So you can see everyone getting set here on the pitch, getting ready to see these teams come out. As I mentioned, September 8th is when they met. That was a 22-8 Enisei-STM victory over Lokomotiv Penza. Enisei really dominated, only a few approaches for points for the Penza side of things. They made some mistakes in their final stage. We'll see if they can sort of fix those as the day goes on here today. Maybe make some adjustments, as this is, of course, the first of two rounds that they'll face, sort of a home and home, if you will, for all of these clubs. Two legs as well in these first couple of rounds of this Rugby Europe Super Cup. We talked about it so much yesterday, Ali, and just the advantages this competition brings to not only the players, but the countries themselves as well.
While we wait for these players to come out, just one thing I wanted to touch on from the experience of yesterday's matches is several of the new law trials that the competition is implementing from the World Rugby Law Trial Experiment. You know, the big one that everybody's talking about is the 50-22. What this means for teams is if you kick that ball, if you have possession, and you kick it away from within your 50, and it makes its way out of bounds inside the opponent's 22-meter line, you have the opportunity to receive and return that ball and receive the line out with the ability to throw in. It's an incredible attacking opportunity, and teams are looking for that. We saw a few of them occur yesterday in the match. What that means, you know, it's holding defenders back. You know, their fullback, their 10s who are in the backfield have to cover a lot more space, or you know, you might even drop a third player back there, which we saw some teams do yesterday. On the attacking side, what that can do is that's going to open up some space in the front line defensive pressure, and so you're going to have a little bit more attacking threat, a little bit more attacking rugby. The goal is more ball movement, try and create that space, or you know, exploit the space in the backfield, put yourself in a better position on the field, and look to take the points when they're on offer.
Looking forward to seeing those on full display here over these 6 rounds of group play here in this Super Cup. We'll play 6 rounds through the month of December, and then the semis April, and the final in May as the teams take the pitch here in Krasnoyarsk. This is the headquarters of Enisei-STM. You might hear the fans a little bit more on their side of things today. We'll wait and see if that is the case. See our referees also adorning the pitch. Alexandru Ionescu will be front and center here today. Mihal Vekaru and Radu Petriscu flanking him to the right and the left.
So we know the last time these two sides met not too long ago, it was Enisei that came ahead with the points early on in the match. Lokomotiv, they struggled to get themselves in the opportunities to take the points. A few mistakes, you know, crept into their game plan. They weren't able to execute well. So I think they'll be looking to have a solid and clear start, try and build that confidence, shake off any rust that might be in the fingertips, and then look to get themselves into the position to score points.
Look at this Penza side, and I think what sticks out there, the number 8, Viktor Grisev, the 35-year-old, one of the veterans here for this Penza squad, the captain of the Russian national team, got a lot of experience nationally and internationally. As for Enisei, they also have plenty of Team Russia experience themselves, and some older players, and also the mix between the older and the younger is what we've seen and what we will see throughout this competition, and looking forward to just that. The substitutes will be waiting in the wings, preparing to come on the pitch to make their impact here as time goes on. 2 40-minute halves is what we're playing here today as the sun sets in a beautiful fashion here in Siberia. It doesn't get much better. The evening doesn't get much better, and wherever you are watching, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening throughout the world. We appreciate you with us. Alongside Ali Engelhardt, Tom Eschen here with you for the duration here today from Russia. And there is the opening kick deep into the territory of the opposition. You hear the referee throughout the match and barking out his calls and instructions to each and every player out there. Enisei adorned in the blue here today, and in the white is Penza.
Stay.
Two good relieving kicks already from the Lokomotiv. Getting that pressure away. Enisei was able to put a few phases together before losing that ball. Lokomotiv looking here again. That's a good, solid exit strategy. Make sure you get that ball out of your half. You don't want to play any rugby down in here.
Interesting, these two clubs here in Russia, battling against each other. Enisei, much more tradition. They've won plenty of championships here domestically. And Penza, sort of the new kid on the block, coming in 2018. That's when they were created. And you take a look in terms of what they have done, and they've done quite a bit here over the last few years, and it's been impressive at that. Winning the Russian Rugby Championship and the Sevens champions as well. This past season, the Sevens is where they made their money.
Again, we see the kicking being a big strategy there. If the space was there, you might have thought just to keep that ball in hand, but you put the pressure back on. Led to the knock on here. It seems to be a really good attacking platform for Enisei.
First one, guys. This is the mark. Shoulder out, shoulder out, shoulder out.
And the scrum awarded here to Enisei. A little more than 2 minutes into the action here. Let's see who will blink first. That's the scrum half, Konstantin Uzunov. Working along that left side.
Advantage.
Big hit, and Enisei playing the advantage, and Penza coming out and getting the kick. That kick blocked. A nice job there by Sergei Sikasev. Enisei looking for an opening down the right side. David Miejski gaining valuable meters here. Pop back out, recovered by the scrum half, Uzunov.
Offside.
And you have the offside call there by Alexandru Ionescu.
Offside.
Early on, it looks to be all Enisei with ball in hand, moving that ball well, finding the space, taking the meters on offer. That's, we talk about pressure into points. Lokomotiv are under a lot of pressure early in this game. We've played the rugby all in their half. We're now deep in their 22. Lokomotiv have to be thinking, how can we maintain this defensive pressure? How can we maintain our strategies here when Enisei seem to be finding the space through the middle, through the outside?
White on the line.
So far similar to what we saw 11 days ago on September 8th. We'll see what Enisei draws up from the line out. Coached by Pervukin Alexander Yurevich. He's been with this club since 1992. Former national team head coach. Here's a push towards the line.
Goal line, goal line.
And we have a whistle, and
so this is
like
one of the new
yes.
This is one of the new law trials that the World Rugby is implementing. We had an attacking opportunity. However, the ball was held up in goal, which means that instead of a 22 dropout, we have, or a 5-meter scrum, this is a goal line dropout, which is drawing, that 22 meters closer to the goal line. It's more of an attacking opportunity for the team that wasn't able to get the ball down.
The scoring player needs to touch the rugby ball down, literally, on the turf in order to score. That's what Ali was mentioning there, and unable to do that was Enisei. So back out we go, and once again, deep into the 22 of Penza they go. They have been in control since the jump. Some trouble after that breakdown and getting it out. Looked like for a second, Enisei had some possibilities.
Very good defensive
over
effort
to Penza.
here. Very good defensive effort here by the Lokomotiv. That was the Enisei had some very quick, fast phases. Lokomotiv kept their shape, kept their defense, forced the turnover, forced the error. Applaud to the Lokomotiv for their early defensive effort. 6 minutes of hard defense there.
Yeah, they are. They've had 6 minutes of very hard defense here, Ali. It feels kind of like last match, and they've got to hope some of the scales start to tip their way. Maybe they can break out here, maybe get some momentum on the other end.
Absolutely. It's all about game. It's all about field position at this point. You want to play away from your pressure points.
You saw there the scrum half, Rudy van Rooyen, choosing not to enter the ball in the play. Why did he not do that in that situation, Ali?
So you can only put that ball, scrum half myself. What we're looking at from the referee as well is that scrum has to be stable before you're able to get that ball into the field, into the play. So, if that scrum there for the player safety, but also for your own advantage, you want that scrum to be as stable as possible so your hooker can get that ball cleanly back to the back and you can get a good platform to launch from. The referee was saying there, Enisei was never stable. We had two front rows there turning inwards. They pushed before that ball was in, which drew a free kick penalty. Meant that Enisei could exit cleanly, put that ball deep into the territory. Lokomotiv exit cleanly, put that ball deep in the territory of Enisei.
Line out here in their own territory. Enisei, they'll kick and try and gain some ground. Couple nice moves by Andrei Karzanov, the 30-year-old right wing. First time we've seen Penza with any sort of rhythm here. These two sides exchanging kicks, and what a kick right there. What a beauty. I think if you're Penza here, Ali, you've got to be happy after it felt like all the momentum in this first 10 minutes was with the Enisei side of things, and they were able to hold up so far.
Absolutely.
The longer they do that, the better.
There is no harm in just sticking to your defensive structures, saying to your team, we can get ourselves behind making these big, strong carries, these big, strong hits. That's some good kicking territory. I think Enisei probably got the better of them on the kicking here. They've earned themselves, an ability to counterattack maybe at the line out. Lokomotiv still under the pressure. Enisei may be able to launch something if they can.
Trying to work from the set piece line out. But now the drive in the maul.
Go back, activity, active.
Now into territory goes Penza. A nice sequence here. With that ball sent forward there, bouncing into the hands of Enisei. The whistle's blown.
Missed opportunity there for the Lokomotiv. A 5-on-3, that simple execution might have done them a favor. They could have gone around the outside. I think just looking for that missed pass when really just simple hands. Straighten up, draw that defender, make that pass. Look for a little bit of variety in their depth and shape. They might have seen a little bit of opportunities come. 5-on-3 there, they'll be disappointed they didn't execute.
This Penza side headed by Alexander Yanishkin. His brother is actually Sergey, the number 10 fly half for this Russian side. Penza native and the Russian national sevens coach. Fumbled there by Karzanov.
No, that's not the kick. That's not the kick. It's not the kick.
Scrum awarded to any side. Looked like they were trying to get a kick out of the deal, but
Come closer.
it looks like
We know
instead it'll be a scrum, according to Alexander Ionescu.
we know how important this skill set is for all of our back three players to be able to take that high ball comfortably when it goes up. It's one of the hardest skills in rugby nowadays, but when this ball goes up here, snow on its tips when it comes down, we want to make sure our wingers, our 15s, our 10s are able to take that comfortably. It's a skill set that is so underrated and so important in the modern game.
And it secures possession, at the end of the day, right? It makes sure that you are sort of working back into your set and then avoiding situations like this.
Absolutely. We have our the South Africans, the New Zealanders, they call it the bomb squad. Being able to be comfortable under those high bombs, the bomb squad is so crucial in today's game.
They got a term for everything, don't they? those countries.
If not, we'll make one up for it.
Back. He's back. Move over.
Turnover here following the scrum into the hands of Penza. Playing advantage, see what they do out wide.
No.
Punted over, saw the contact there without possession of the rugby ball, and the whistle's blown.
Blue. Now running.
Penza unable to take advantage, unable to retrieve the ball after the advantage. They'll go back to the penalty earlier on.
And a brief moment of stoppage as Denis Simplikevich will get some work done. Some tumbling going on there. I mean, this is a physical sport. They try and make it as safe as possible, but sometimes you can't avoid it. I mean, you end up in very interesting spots, if you will. Here comes the line out for Penza. So a throw up and over the lot. Kisev providing resistance. The whistle blown. Frido Olivier popping through. Lost it, got it back again. The whistle blew, and finally taken down after all of that by Vladislav Sazonov.
Closer, guys. Closer. Stay.
This will be a scrum for Penza.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Rudy van Rooyen, the South African, will send it in.
Use it.
Nice move inside there by Baboyev.
Move away. Move away. Ball available.
It's Kisev driving in there over that gain line.
Ball in front. Roll. Rock. Ball in front. Go back. He was on a rock and the ball is offside.
So you heard Alexandru Ionescu say there's offsides in the ruck, and it'll be Penza with a kick here going into Enisei territory.
This is the first opportunity for 3 points. We know with modern day kickers that they can try and take these 3 from anywhere inside the half, and this looks to be just millimeters on the inside of the 50-meter line.
I didn't notice that at first, Ali. Good eyes, good catch. So a deep kick, an opportunity for Penza. They'll take the points if they can get them. This is the brother of the head coach, Sergei Yanishkin. Team Russia since 2013, made his World Cup debut in 2019. The kick is up. And it's good.
Fantastic.
About as far as it gets there for Yanishkin. And Penza takes a 3-0 lead here, 16 minutes in. And after how this one started, Ali, I mean, they've got to be loving life right now. What a huge kick there by Yanishkin.
Yeah, that's a great win for the Lokomotiv Penza. Just settle the scoreboard, get the points early, get yourself into this match. We haven't seen them play a lot of rugby inside the opponent's half, but when they did, they came away with points, and that's what we want to see.
We saw a quick release there from the number 8, Viktor Grisev, in sort of dangerous territory, and it appeared that was because he was down in pain, stayed down for much longer after that, and the whistle blown accordingly. "35-year-old, we talked about him at the start, the captain of the Russian national team, 100+ caps for Team Russia. 6 Russian championships over the course of his career. St. Petersburg native.
Okay.
Sort of had a false step there and maybe into the calf. Never good non-contact. That's not anything you want to see.
I'm the referee.
So sometimes when it's a little bit cooler, you don't drink as much water, so maybe it's just a cramp. Hopefully that'll be the case, and we'll see him at some point in the future. About 60 degrees, dropping into the 50s here in Siberia this evening.
5 minutes.
Here's the line out for Penza. Penza, good push in the maul. Penza starting to gain some traction. Yanishkin here into Enisei territory. Jakoitz goes down. Bit of a fumble for a moment there from Zakisev, and he comes back and gets it. And there you saw hear the official, Alexandru Ionescu, say holding on, so the tackler did not release quick enough after making that tackle when they went to the ground. So just about nearing 20 minutes in, still 3-0. Penza leading Enisei. Don't forget, Enisei won 22-8 and really dominated that whole match last time. And while Penza hasn't gone inside the 22 just yet, they've kept Enisei off the board. The advantage playing is Simplikevich, and right before the line. He's taken down, and the referee stops the play.
A crucial tackle made there by a rough and rowdy Rudy, the number 9 on the Lokomotiv team, knocking that ball out of the hands of the Enisei man heading to the try line.
Saved the 5 points there by making that play.
Guys, too much space? Okay.
The tackle and the punch out.
Come here, come here.
A big play at that. Now it'll be a scrum for Enisei.
We go side by side. Shoulder out. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Zunov takes it out.
From the side.
A whistle going the way of Penza there, as once again, Enisei looked like they had possibilities, unable to capitalize. I think you'll start to see guys like Denis Simplikevich start to make their presence known. You're seeing that already. 6'5", 258. A guy with World Cup experience. Been with Team Russia since 2011 with this Enisei squadron since 2011 as well. And he's a scorer. 3-time top try scorer in the Russian championship. So as time goes on, you're seeing him start to make more of an impact here for Enisei.
Be careful when you're up. Be careful when you're up. No, I said to him, be careful. Okay, merci. Blue here, white. Hold the 10, hold the 10.
So more than halfway through this first half.
Go inside, white, go inside.
A line out for Penza. Into Enisei territory they go. Haven't been inside their 22 just yet.
Stay. Advantage. You're down, you're down. Advantage over. Stay.
And Enisei uses the kick to try and gain some ground there after a chaotic few moments.
Nu n-am văzut. Da, a fost introdus oricum. Introdusă, da, introdusă. Take it back in.
They had that initial surge, Ali, to start the match and haven't had the same since.
It looks like that was an attempt at the 50-22 new law trial. Unfortunately, the ball was taken. The referee just said that the ball was taken back into the 50. Something I wasn't aware of, but you take him back into the 50 and then out inside the 22. They did not receive that ball back. Interesting variation to the law trial here.
Yeah, you saw some questions there by the Enisei side of things, probably addressing that same exact thing.
Introdusă, introdusă. Da, introdusă. Deci, okay, merci. Let's go, guys.
Enisei gets it out of the breakdown. Down the right side they go. Picked up by David Mieski. Whistle there after the breakdown. 15 minutes to play here in this first half. Still a 3-0 lead for Penza. And some extracurriculars going on here.
Go back. Go back. Time is up. Go back. Go back, I said. Go back. I said go back. Go back. Go back. Go back, I said. Time is up. Captain. Again, don't spoil it. Or I have to send you off. Yeah? Okay, that's it. Here, no, here. No, here's off, here. Don't try it.
So this Penza side up 3-0. They came into this competition here today. Some injured players that have been banged up, getting a little healthier as time has gone on here. That was a good sign for them. Their first European tournament after being created in 2018. So this is a pretty big moment for their program and sort of developing things and, you know, trying to find players. I'm sure at the beginning of all this wasn't easy, but they found some really good ones and have been successful in that. And you have to imagine that they've got to be thrilled to be a part of this, and I mean, got to be thrilled what they've seen so far here today.
Step in.
They win the line out, inching closer inside that 22. An opening, an opportunity.
Yeah, rock. It's a rock. It's a rock. You use it. Stay.
Rescue making sure everyone stays on side. A whistle following that breakdown and ruck, and it will go the way of Enisei. So no dice there for Penza. Unable to capitalize on great position. It'll be a kick.
Enisei on more than one occasion taking advantage of the Lokomotiv players not releasing, not fast enough with their supporting clear out. You know, Enisei's right over that ball, trying to win that not release penalty that they've done on more than one occasion here.
He was the first one who was entitled to be there. First one.
So that ball kicked into touch in full. Now getting the line out is Enisei. It's part of that law. The kick by Uzanov blocked. A nice job there by Simplikevich. Van Rooyen, excuse me, with the kick, and Simplikevich coming in and stopping that in its tracks.
I think the referee just having a word with his sideline officiant here, checking to see if number 13 is offside before that ball has been pulled out. Oh, okay.
Wondering how Simplikevich was able to get so close to the block. Didn't think it was humanly possible, I'd imagine. But the line out was awarded, so there's your answer.
A beautiful little dink ahead.
It's Janishkin. Crafty 34-year-old.
That's the spot. faster. Blue here. White here. White. Stay, blue, stay. White, go inside.
Less than 10 minutes to play here in this first half. 3-0. Penza with that kick from midfield, just inside midfield, I guess, centimeters inside. That is the difference so far. What a battle. What a win there from Enisei. And then the push in the ensuing maul.
It's off. Stay. It's okay. Stay here. Rock.
Darting his way through is Mieski.
The ball just drifting
And the
forwards out of the
whistle
hands
stops play.
there.
For the bus.
Pretty nice sequence there for Enisei after that maul and pushing their way towards midfield, and one of their best sequences of this first half after that initial surge, trying to get one more here in the final 10 of this first half.
Left spot, left of the spot.
Absolutely, you know, Enisei with not a bad ball movement. You know, I think the thing for them though they'll be looking at is they're very flat to the attack, to the defensive wall. That's giving the Lokomotiv the ability to put a lot of pressure on the skill set, and we're seeing those knock-ons, those forward passes creep in because of that. Enisei might look to just drop their depth a little, give themselves a touch more time to look up, identify where the space is, make the right decision to keep that ball in hand.
Take it out.
And an opening here for Enisei, streaking towards the goal, Enisei-STM.
So,
The youngest Russian to ever participate at a Rugby World Cup for Team Russia. Scores the try, it's 5-3. Simplakevich just getting the advantage, getting the opening, and finding his way in for the score. 5 on the board for Enisei, hoping for 2 more here in a fortuitous position for just that with Ramil Geisen. An easy one for Geisen. 7-3 now. Enisei gets the try and the conversion here with about 7 minutes to play.
left.
See the kick, Enisei gathers, and good cover there by Penza deep in Enisei territory. Ilya Spondarashvili, the Georgian, now taking it into Enisei territory. Penza looking for a response. Had established a bit of a rhythm, though that fumbled by Vladimir Geraskin. And we have a brief timeout for the injuries. We've had pretty much straight action for most of the duration of this first half. Just a couple of stoppages here and there for injuries such as this, as they spray that on.
15 off. Okay.
So whatever that stuff is, usually seems to get the job done. Making people feel all right. If only you could have that for all facets of life. Just spray it and makes everything better. So after the injury, less than 5 minutes to play here in the first half. It'll be a scrum for Enisei. Enisei, good momentum out of the scrum. That into touch. Flag goes up and see.
You know, you've got to take these opportunities. They get 2-3 good passes here. They find that space. There's no harm in taking that ball to the deck and resetting and trying to exploit the territory. You know, they've just put themselves in a really good attacking position. Great defensive effort there from the Lokomotiv Penza.
Guys, step in the line out. Step in the line
Yes,
out.
they get the line out here with about 4 minutes to go.
Again, step in the line out. Yeah.
And they run through, delivered to Spandarashvili. The push by Penza. Spandarashvili there in the middle, trying to help his team gain some ground. Monroyan taken down. So Penza struck first with a goal, and then we saw here in the final 10 minutes, Enisei, the try and the conversion, 7-3.
The box kick up high again. The receiving player unable to securely take that ball. We've earned themselves another knock on. You know, that teams might look at that and say, no team has been able to successfully secure a high ball from that sideline. And that's a good opportunity for them to exploit in the future.
Physical play there as Friedel Olivier taken down.
Shoulders.
A scrum for Penza.
Bind. Stay. Use it.
Wonderful toss here out to Baboyev. Nice retrieval by Yanishkin.
You have the advantage for penalty. No, go back. Offside.
Penza was playing the advantage, and then the referee, Alexander Ionescu, blowing the play dead.
Offside on the rock.
Hear the call, offside on the ruck.
Option. Kicking.
So Penza takes the option. Sounds like we'll kick here. Fouled the penalty by Enisei. Looking for another 3, and they cut this to 1 in the final moments of this first half.
Definitely a difficult conversion here on the angle.
Janishkin, 1 for 1 today, made his first to start the scoring. Here is the kick. It is up, and it is way wide to the left. So like you said, Ali, a tough angle, and Janishkin, a little bit too much curl there. Pulled it a bit.
Back.
So Enisei gets the kick from their 22. One more jaunt here as the referee will decide when the first half will be over. We'll see.
Stay. Stay. First, he's a juggler. He's a juggler.
Another successful jackal at the breakdown
Option.
for Enisei.
Kick.
So they are awarded the penalty and will choose to kick. Looking to get deep into territory there and look to get close for a try.
And your teammates went on the back. Right.
Crowd getting into it here.
The line out sent up over the top and immediately gathered by Penza. Missed opportunity by Enisei, and Penza will kick this up and away. They failed to execute on the line out. And simply booting it into touch is Earl Duvray.
That should be the halftime whistle
And
there.
that is the final whistle of the half, as the players have decided at least. So we will also take a break for halftime. A close battle here in Avangard Stadium in Krasnoyarsk, Russia. 7-3. Enisei leading Lokomotiv Penza. We'll take a quick break, get you back here for the highlights in just moments here at the Rugby Europe Super Cup.
So a very strong start for the Enisei-STM team. 6 or 7 minutes of strong attacking phases. Lokomotiv Penza very well done to maintain their defensive effort, getting the first points on the board from well-earned penalty inside the half of the Enisei. Number 10 standing up, making the kicks. Just 1 3-pointer for him, missed his second opportunity. Enisei with more attacking phases trying to get. Ball movement is good. They're finding that space on the outside. They're really asking questions of the Lokomotiv defense. For them, it might just be a question of can we just soften up? Can we get a little bit deeper? Look to exploit maybe a few points on the inside. Create some variety in our game. Look for those other opportunities. A few really strong attacking kicks that are asking those question marks from the Lokomotiv defense. This first half is a tale of who's putting that pressure on. Can we increase the speed? Enisei definitely with the stronger start. Lokomotiv maybe looking to say, let's settle into the second half. Let's get some more points on the board. Let's try and build our phases, build our momentum, shake off the rust, and then they might reap some rewards.
And we see the impact of Denis Simplakevich here, Ali, and breaking through the first time, and obviously a try-saving tackle by Rudy Van Rooyen. And then the next time around, a little bit later on in the match, Simplakevich, it seems like it was inevitable that he was going to break out, and definitely an X factor to watch in the second half as well.
Absolutely, a few big players making big plays. Yeah, this second half is going to be a story of who can step up to the mark, who can maintain their accuracy while looking to exploit the defensive pressures that's going to come with some fatigue.
So it's a 7-3 lead for Enisei, getting the try in the final 10 minutes of the half after Penza sort of was pretty pleased just to keep things 3-0, it seemed. They did try a kick late in that first half, unable to make it close to the expiration of time. And Penza, after a bit of a slow start, were able to establish some things, but then you see here the speed of Simplakevich in outrunning the opponents here, Ali, and just able to find a crack and really sort of a broken play he's able to exploit. Then the conversion by Geisen to make it a 7-3 advantage. Enisei winning 22-8 back on September 8th, and now trying to do the same here just about 11 days later here on September 19th in Avangard Stadium. The final kick from Yanishkin, no good, as the final seconds expired there in the first half. We will get you ready for the second half. The players are doing so. Make sure to stay tuned right here for the Rugby Europe Super Cup. Halftime just about over here at Avangard Stadium in Krasnoyarsk, Russia, here at the Rugby Europe Super Cup. It's Enisei-STM, a 7-3 lead over Lokomotiv Penza. Alongside Ali Engelhardt from the New England Free Jacks, I am Tom Eschen here with you on the call, and 40 minutes in the books. Ali, what was said in those locker rooms at the halftime for each side?
Great to be here with you, Tom. You know, the halftime talks are going to be really important as they come out strong in the second half. Enisei execution. They've had the momentum. They've been the territory. They've been the attacking threats. Next, let's just execute. You know, they may be a little bit lucky to get those 7-pointers under the post with a little bit of an intercept, but they have been applying a lot of pressure on the Lokomotiv. On the Lokomotiv side, it's about building that momentum, putting the ball in the right parts of the field, and then backing themselves to make a bit less mistakes as they build the phases and put some pressure on this Enisei team. Like I said before, pressure leads to points. Whichever team's going to do a little bit more of that's going to come away on top at the end of this match.
This is the third match of the weekend in this brand new competition here in European rugby, the Rugby Europe Super Cup, built to sort of bridge the gap between the international and domestic level. And yesterday we saw the Western Conference teams in action from the Netherlands and Belgium and Spain, Portugal. And then here today we've got the two teams from Russia in the Eastern Conference going at it as well. We'll see the other two in the Eastern Conference match up a little later in the month of October here in round one. The Black Lion from Georgia and the Tel Aviv Heat from Israel. They will battle out in a few weeks' time due to some COVID restrictions and traveling and whatnot. So they will get going just in a little while. Round one, though, wrapping up, at least for now, here with this matchup here today. A 7-3 lead for Enisei, two of the best Russian club teams going at it here in this Rugby Europe Super Cup.
He's back, he's back. Stop. Captain. So, you have to move away faster on the breakdowns, or they're going to send you to send big this one, yeah? So, please stop here, guys.
So Tom, the referee just having a word there with the Enisei captain, letting them know that he's not going to tolerate any more mistakes or any more infringements at the breakdown. The Enisei player there, caught on the wrong side of the ball, has to roll away faster in order to avoid being sent to the sin bin.
So Alexandru Ionescu being very clear in what he wants, and we saw that sort of come up and crop up from time to time in the first half of play, and of course he's trying to squelch it, nip it in the bud as we begin this second half. Penza with a good opportunity here, a line out. I believe they're inside the 22 here, just outside of it. And here off the lineup, here's the maul.
Be careful. Go back. White went down.
That ball pushed through. Lokomotiv retains possession.
Stop, stop, go back.
Repeated infringement here.
Not rolling.
And it looks
This
like
is Lokomotiv.
there will be a penalty, right, here, Ali?
It does. A repeated infringement caught on the wrong side of the breakdown. It looks like Lokomotiv are going for the 3 points with the trusty boot of Sergey. We should be able to see a 6 to 7 points in 6 points to 7 here.
Yeah, that seemed like all related to what Alexandru Ionescu was just talking about with the Enisei captain.
Absolutely. Maybe Enisei a little bit lucky to escape, having their players sent off on that yellow card. Repeated infringements, referees do want to make sure they have a mark on the game, do want to make sure they maintain control. That's something that he is looking at. We saw that yesterday on all the matches. Repeated infringement at the breakdown are going to cost your team points.
Ganishkin 1 for 2 in the first half. Trying to cut it to 1. And that is sent through. So 1 in the first, 1 in the second for Janishkin. And the lead is down to 1, 7 to 6 now here. A few minutes into this second half of play.
I think they've got...
Sit up, sit up.
We saw in the first half gathering of kicks, some of those high balls was difficult at times, and both teams trying to rectify that. Could make a big difference here in the second half.
Say 9. Okay.
That kick sent into touch on the full. Flag goes up. It'll be a line out here for Enisei.
Yeah. Blue.
If I'm Enisei, I'm thinking, it's 5 minutes from the half. This is where we make our mark. This is where we start to build the pressure. We'd like to see a few phases put together here. We want to exploit the space and make our way into the opponent's halfway line.
Getting high for that one, Olivier. And immediately found the advantage in the opening.
Don't throw. Sir, advantage.
Enisei playing the advantage. They continue to play on.
Stop.
And the whistle finally sounds after rather long sequence after the advantage was played. So it'll be a penalty for Enisei.
Now the other one came around and throw. On feet.
And looked like Enisei deciding on the line out for this. Thinking maybe they have an opportunity here early in the second half, maybe to get a try, get some points here, and they continue to move the ball into Penza territory. They are inside the 22. Here's the push in the maul.
Enisei can build some confidence from this excursion in the 22. They're going to put some pressure on. They're having a successful maul attempt here, driving forward. They've earned themselves an advantage, it looks like. And now it's the opportunity to try and really exploit the space and earn some points.
Nine, right. White, discipline on his own. To the line. Here. Blue here.
So you see the referee, Alexander Ionescu, establishing the gain line for this line out once again. Enisei creeping closer.
Man! Simon!
Enisei punching through. The kick, can they run it down? A wonderful kick and a finish, the touch, the try. Earl Duvray. 5 more on the board for Enisei.
Ramil, the number 10 there, just catching the Lokomotiv Penza sleeping out wide. I think they were expecting those big boys to come around the corner, draw in and to do the hard yards, try and get that ball down. And instead, they pull that ball out. Number 10 looks wide, puts that ball high, and a fantastic kick receiver and try to earn the 5-pointer.
A perfect placement there. Geisen dialing it in for Duvray, the right wing. A trusty boot of Geisen, and now a difficult angle here for the conversion, but we'll try and make it 14-6. And that kick is wide right. Geisen unable to find that angle. A tough one at that. Very experienced and
Left, I think. Thank you.
said a confident kicker in Geisen. But nonetheless, 5 points on the board. 12-6 now. Enisei leading.
Stay.
Penza just 2 kicks so far here today. Come close maybe once or twice inside the 22 of Enisei, but that's been about it.
White. White.
Have the opportunity here at a line out. Trying to get a quick answer here after the try for Enisei. That one trickles up and then into the hands of Nerman Silanko.
You're down. You're down. You're first man. First man.
The 22.
First man. Use it. First man. Ball ripped.
Silanko.
Advantage. Advantage.
Turnover back to Enisei. Another mistake deep in the 22 by Penza.
Advantage over. Hit the ball.
Just coming up, shutting down all the options number 12 had.
Kaya ko ay should bring Malone po mga person.
All he had to do was take it in contact. And he's able to shut that down, drive him into touch, burn that line out. That's what the opposition's have.
Blue. Let's go. Ball!
Here's the maul, Enisei getting a good push. Breaking through, there he is, Simplikevich. Kicked deep down into Penza territory, and it looks like it'll go down into touch past that try line.
Okay,
Enisei just not able to get there in time.
Yeah. Scrum white.
Guys have put it down there for Duvray. We just saw him score a try moments ago. That combination worked well then, trying to replicate that here.
Calm me high, calm me high, calm me high, calm, calm. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Here's the scrum for Penza.
Cranking, cranking, cranking.
Broke down.
Guys,
And
guys, we had really
going
good
in.
scrum in the first half. Keep it like that. Keep it up. Do not hinge.
Alexandru Ionescu telling it like it is. Let's come on, we've been doing this all game long. Let's keep it up.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Use it. Stay.
High ball again. Good take this time.
Move away. Stay. Tackle. Stay. Stay. It's off your
TJ
time.
Jakobs getting an opportunity here. Right at the center line. There's that high kick.
You're off. You're off the feet. Go back, Blue.
Deep kick there into touch on the full.
Directly to touch.
That ball come all the way back.
Move. Across the Zizia control. Aşağı. White. White.
It'll be a line out for Penza after that kick.
This is an opportunity for the Lokomotiv Penza to really establish themselves and settle into the second half. You know, they need these points on to close that 6-point deficit. It's within their reach. Let's see if they can maintain a few phases without losing control of that ball as they have it earlier in the first half. Nice flat pass there.
Advantage over.
Good change of direction. It's just little errors creeping in that's causing them not able to get that momentum that they need to
He's
build.
back.
Spondarashvili unable to keep that momentum.
Move away. Yeah.
Chakoids
You're
trying to
off.
drive it in. The Georgian national team player.
Stay. You're off it. You're off it. Offside 7.
Really good defensive pressure here from Enisei, coming up fast and shutting down all the options they have.
Still advantage.
Actually driven them back during this sequence. Do have a player
Folded
down
like
here.
a deck chair here.
To advantage. 7.
Let's have a look
Offside.
where this penalty is. We know the boot of number 10, Sergei, is dangerous. He can strike from almost anywhere within the opposition half.
7 offside. Don't shout
Yeah,
at
what a
me.
tackle there.
Because I'm gonna turn it off. Yeah? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Janishkin with 1 in the first half, 1 in the
Good
second.
man.
There you go, Ollie. There's your deck chair. All stored up for the fall.
A very strong hit there. You love to see it.
Textbook. Brief
Time is off.
time out for the injury. Time off. You just hear Alexander Ionesco say so.
Huh? You need it.
Bit of an icing of the kicker, Sergei Janishkin. Did miss 1, has missed 1 kick today. He's 2 for 3. Like I said, his brother is Sergei Janishkin, the head coach of this Penza side. He's got a brother, Andre. He has a nephew. Excuse me. That's quite the family tree. His nephew is Andre.
Okay,
He's 17 years old. He made his debut with Lokomotiv earlier this year. That'd be his brother's son,
Come
right?
on.
Yeah.
7 offside. 7 blue. Offside. Kick.
You got any brothers, Ollie?
I have a twin brother. We both grew up playing rugby together. He was a ferocious and dangerous player. You know, able to make big tackles on folks 2, 3 times his size. I myself, fast little scrum half, try to dart around people.
You probably wouldn't be able to coach each other, would you? I don't know if that would go that well, that close in age.
Potentially not.
So this could cut it to 3 for Janishkin. And here we go. The kick is up. And it is wide left. So he falls to 2 for 4 today, unable to capitalize there. He made that deep one earlier. We thought maybe he'd have the leg of gold today. Has not meant to be.
Thank you.
Had the power, just the accuracy here, a little bit off to the left.
Let's go, 10.
Not a bad option. You know, Lokomotiv will still maintain possession when the Enisei kick that ball back to them. You know, they'll still be able to see if we can create that momentum that we've been talking about, see if they can get some pace in their belt.
Revas Brodzelli getting some of his first action of the day.
You're off! You're off! Bro, you're off! Bro, you're off it!
Ionescu there, the referee instructing during the breakdown.
So, you
Not blowing the whistle, instead.
Even though they may have followed the law there,
Off
they
it.
weren't infringing the
17.
Enisei
Off it.
players by just being in that kind of that position over the ball. They really slowed that down and made it that their defensive role was able to get set, put pressure on. This turnover here, that was because of the work that was done at the previous breakdown, slowing the game down. Right here, we'll see these 2 players go for the opportunity. Enisei players are slow to clear out, so that breakdown takes a long time, meaning the Enisei team is able to get set, come off the line, apply pressure, and then look for the turnover here. That's put them, again, deep into the opposition 22.
Sort of towing that line between being slow to get out and too slow to get out, of course, which would draw a whistle.
Hop, stop, white, stay there, blue, stay there.
There's a line out, there's the maul.
First stop.
An hour into this match.
You're from outside, move.
Enisei into the Penza 22.
From outside, save on the side, from outside. Stop, stop, stop. Stop it. Go back. Hey, hey. Stop. Stop.
A lot of words now spoken between these two. Like we said, they know each other quite well. They just played back on September 8th. Of course, two teams from Russia.
Go back.
Got to imagine there's good and bad blood on both sides here. They know each other well, teammates-wise and opposition-wise, too.
Take your team back. You go back. Go back. Go back.
And they'll play again in round 2. That's coming up on Saturday. Now some medical attention being applied. When you're playing teams this quickly in succession, you know, in between matches and going into matches, how does that impact your mindset, knowing that you've played them before, very recently?
Yeah, you know, I think there's two different mindsets. The first is, you know, you look at your own team. You try and control what you can control, which is your own team, your individual efforts. Are we playing the right game plan? Are there things that we did last match that we should try and improve on? A lot of the times, I think, especially with this Lokomotiv team, we're thinking, all right, let's just try and back ourselves. Let's try and get the ball in hand. Let's execute a little bit more. Go back to the basics. All right, it's been the knock-ons, a little bit of the errors, the passes behind, you know, causing them to be, you know, a little bit behind the attacking strength of the Enisei. The other part is we look at the other team. You know, having that experience, you know, having the opportunity to go head-to-head with a team multiple times, you get to know the flavor. You get to know what types of things that they like to do. Are they a kicking heavy team? Do they look at certain players? You get to know the individuals and the coaching strategies that they have. So I think both of those are going to help a lot.
If I reverse it, I will penalize you.
A lot of information you got to parse through there, both tactically, emotionally, physically, the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, I think it's just experience goes under your belt, and then you get to know something a little bit more. So I think on there, just the referees had a little bit of a conference. We didn't hear the final thing, but I believe what happened was the Enisei player was over that maul, and the Lokomotiv Penza player was over that maul, and an Enisei player attempted to clean him out from there, from an illegal position, potentially riding high over the shoulder. As we know in rugby, you cannot have any infringement or any contact to the neck or neck or head area. I believe there might have been just a slight infringement, or in fact a large infringement. Is that a red card we see here from the Enisei?
A red card has been issued here. Obviously, that is going to make a huge impact. About 20 minutes to play here. So Karel Dupre sent off with the red card here, the number 8 for Enisei.
Bringing this to 15-14.
First man.
So that is the situation for the rest of this match. And of course, a 12-6 advantage for Enisei. And now they'll have to play one man down the rest of the way.
Captain.
Alexandru Ionescu will continue to try and... There you go, just giving Penza the marching orders. One of those feelings. One more time, and I'm pulling this car over. This time issued to the Penza side. Already pulled it over for Enisei.
Here you are, sir. Blue, here you are.
So Enisei down a man, but still with a strong driving maul deep inside the opponent's 22. Let's see if they can capitalize here. Fantastic defensive effort there from the Lokomotiv Penza, stopping that momentum they caused earlier on.
It's a maul, don't have to roll away.
How do the tactics change here, Ali, on both sides of the equation, knowing the advantage?
You know, from the Enisei team first, with a man down, they've got to step up. You know, it's their forward pack. They know that that's probably a big player, number 8, Karel Dupre. You know, they've got to come up around. They've got to fill in for what they're missing there. But especially on defense, a man down on defense, that's going to be a long, taxing 20 minutes. For Lokomotiv, you're looking at this should be an extra opportunity to exploit territory, exploit some space. You know, they're man up here for the rest of the match. They shouldn't panic. They shouldn't try and do anything a little bit too quickly. Just say we have 20 minutes to earn back 6 points. That's one converted try or 2 penalties. I think they've got it.
Dawaj! Ale to było właśnie na understand. Don't hurry, don't hurry. Crouch!
We are ready to go here with the scrum after the brief injury timeout. Time back in, Enisei deep in Penza territory. Scrum rotates. Picked up by Van Rooyen at the whistle right before that.
One-man advantage proving to be hugely influential here at the scrum time.
Staying in the field of play, and now up through the middle is Andrei Karzanov. Excuse me, that would be Duvray. Duvray of Enisei, who has a try today. You can see his explosiveness. Isuzen. Well, bouncing here inside the 22 of Penza as a couple of players are down and getting attended to. 15 minutes into the final quarter hour of this match. 12-6 is the score. Enisei leading Penza. This one a little tighter than what we saw about 11 days ago between these two.
Absolutely, and you know, it's been an exciting match, good back and forth between the two teams. Maybe Enisei putting that pressure, but Lokomotiv absorbing it well, constantly absorbing the attack threat from Enisei. I think they're 15 minutes left and one man up. They may be able to exert some pressure of their own.
But you have to imagine Enisei trying at this point to sort of wear that clock down and doing a good job of that, of staying in Penza territory while that is the case. You know, while they've been in this situation, which now is stretching on 5 minutes, they've mainly had possession and mainly been here inside the 22 of Penza.
They have. They're going to look to exit well, try and get that territory back. It's important that they do so in order to build the momentum they need.
So let's see what Penza can do here with the scrum.
Don't hurry up. Don't hurry up. Rebound it here. Don't hurry up. Keep it stepping.
But of course, with that advantage, some of the cracks a little bit bigger in the Enisei defense that has been so formidable so far.
Shoulder. Shoulder. Thank you. Shoulder. Crouch. Bind. Set. Stay. Stay. Move it.
Good push from Enisei in the scrum. And they come out with possession. Timplakevich. That booted ahead, but the whistle will stop things in their tracks.
We have two options, here and over there, not rolling. Here or there, hold on. Kick. Let's go, 10.
Enisei opting to extend their lead by another 3 points, putting that just out of reach of a converted try.
Nu la grămadă și ne-am deportat aici. Le-am încetinit. No.
Geisen has a conversion today. Trying to add 3 more. And he does just that. 15-6, Enisei, despite playing a man down, able to get 3 more points.
Ball.
15-6, Enisei now with a lead, approaching 10 minutes to play. Geisen winning 6 Russian championships with Enisei. 3 Russian Cups, 3 Russian Super Cups as well.
Stay. Let's see. White. Давай, White.
So Penza still needing a couple of
Guys, step
possessions, a couple of scores to get themselves
outside. White. Guys,
within trying
this is
distance.
simple. Stay here.
Try and start that all with this line out. 10 minutes to play.
A fantastic set piece here.
But
Maybe
stopped.
No, 15, you have to.
Nikita Chirasov.
Let's go.
A wonderful darting through the line here off the set piece. Well worked practice play. Maybe just a little hasty to dink that over the top. Losing possession. You've put yourself in the best field position you've had all match. Maybe just hold on to it, reset, look for the opportunities out wide.
Penza does
Go back.
continue, though, to fight forward here. Kisov dumping it off.
Big man with the kick across the field.
Garzanov able to gather.
Not every day you see that number 16 prop replacement Van Scher with a little chip to the sideline. The modern day prop is a wonderful specimen.
The more you watch this sport, Ali, the more fascinated you get to see the way, not only with their hands, but their feet, the way some of these big guys move out there. It is impressive to watch. I mean, you've got guys at 6'6", 270 doing things like that. You know, it is a spectacle.
Sub.
Moving like scrum halves, like yourselves, Ali.
Time on.
Less than 10 minutes to go here. 15-6. Penza trying to string something together here.
No.
Trying to use that advantage in the maul.
Go back.
Fresh legs to the replacements here, still going up against only 7 players in the forward pack of Enisei.
No, it's a rock. That's spot.
Whistle blown there on Enisei. And lining up for the kick. Ganishkin.
Here might fall.
And the line out, excuse me, they opt for the line out after the whistle. Here we go, caught up top by Selenko. Out to the left side, and
Hold up. Hold, stop. Hold up. Stop, hold up. No video. Hey, stop. Stop, stop.
hear the words of Alexandru Ionescu.
Ball just held up there, brought out of the maul a little early in my opinion. You know, that had a great set on the driving maul. They were moving forward, and remember, Enisei are down one forward player. So interesting option to move that ball out of the maul, trying to go for it, and just not touching grass down on the end there.
That's what we saw earlier in the match, a similar scenario. This time, it's Penza unable to touch down. Vandarashvili, it squirts loose. Turnover to Enisei. Hear the crowd starting to swell with excitement here at Avangard Stadium. Krasnoyarsk. Comes out though. Game's down. Drashov making a nice play. Retrieving, gathering, getting tackled down.
Use it.
That kick deflected, going into touch. Five minutes to play, 15-6.
Right. Să stea pe loc acolo, da, numărul 2. Numărul 2 să stea pe loc.
The line out for Penza. Still inside the 22 of Enisei. They have turned the tables after the red card at the 61st minute, at least possession-wise. Now it's got to happen on the scoreboard. And time's running out.
They really have. You know, they're slowly holding onto that ball a little bit more. They're picking up momentum. I think the defensive pressure from Enisei is still just pulling them out. Trying to do a little bit too much on occasion.
You're down, you're down, you're down. You're on feet. Move on, faster.
Mashkin.
Rock!
The ruck and then taken away by Enisei, Olivier.
Rock!
Like Alexei Sherben forgot something there, went running without the rugby ball, and everybody a little exhausted after that run out.
Let's go. Let's go. I know you're tired. I'm old. Let's go, guys. Let's go, Blue.
A great counter attack at the breakdown there. Just making those hard meters, going over the top there.
Blue.
The scrum half just forgetting the ball.
Yeah, I saw it. Number 2.
Seemed like it almost took too much time for Penza there to try and maybe set up to build toward a try.
I think the key difference on the attack there has been Enisei's speed at the breakdown. You know, each breakdown, each ruck is less than 3 seconds. That's the benchmark most coaches will set, less than 3 seconds. It doesn't give the defending team the ability to take time to set their defensive wall and come up together. If you're less than 3 seconds, you're playing fast and attacking rugby. Lokomotiv Penza, on the other hand, seem to be a little bit slow on getting to the breakdown, a little bit slow on setting that ball and getting that ball out fast.
Nice stick there by David Miejski. What a tackle. Pushing Penza back even more here. Kicked up and through by Duvray, trying to kick it to himself, and into touch it goes.
Și acolo revenind balonul a fost introdus în 22 bal făcut mort și
He has the try for Enisei in the second half.
Ha? Cine înainte acolo, nu? Ok. White. First one, knock. Knock. First one.
Wonderful effort there. As Duvray trying to make something happen and add just a little more cushion here in the final moments of this one. Our third match of the weekend here in the Rugby Europe Super Cup. Our first two yesterday, Delta and Enisei-STM, the winners, and now Enisei trying to join them here in our third match of round one. Of course, next weekend we'll be back with round two. It's almost the second leg for these sides, and looking forward to seeing them in action once again.
Absolutely. I think once the first round jitters are gone, we're going to see these teams settle in, shake the rust off, maybe try and do a little bit of innovation in their attacking structures. Looking forward to round two for sure.
That kick sent forward, trying to run it down, and he does. Enisei. A try, the cherry on top for Enisei. A 20-6 advantage.
On the eve of the final whistle, they're not afraid to put that kick through. Look at the space that's there. Very good heads-up rugby. Great attacking momentum. Well-earned 5 points right at the end of the match here.
No, we're going to restart. Have to restart.
Certainly momentum, like we just mentioned, for the second leg of these first two rounds. Gives them an exclamation point to build on for next time around. Enisei, the 23-year-old on the Georgia U20 squad. He's a Georgia native. Part of their World Rugby U20 Championship team in 2017 as well. You can see that talent displayed here in Russia today. And the conversion kick, good by Geisen. 22-16, 22-6, excuse me. Sorry, caught a fan on a hot mic apparently. They're getting rather excited about that result. So Penza, the two goals here today, unable to convert any tries up to this point. What should they build on, Ali, here, as it appears the final whistle has sounded. It is Enisei 22, Penza 6.
Fantastic display here in Siberia from both these teams in the opening round of the Super Cup. You know, I think Enisei's attacking speed, attacking strength, the momentum they'd built early in the game was really the defining moments for us. On defense, their ability to steal the ball, the jackal, when Enisei was slow to get their supporting players there, really helped them maintain that attacking pressure, put the ball back in the that they want to Lokomotiv Penza, they're going to look at this and say, a few too many errors on attack. Drop the ball a few too many times, we missed our mark on the passes. They're going to want to speed up their game of style of play. They're going to put that ball into the territory, into the position of the field that they want to play in. Not a total loss. I think Lokomotiv played some really good rugby. Just Enisei's speed and attacking strength was definitely the momentum killer for them.
Tries today for Denis Simplakevich. That was in the first half. Earl Duvray, and we just saw David Enisei there for Enisei. The kicks made by Ramil Geisen, the trusty boot, couple of conversions and a goal himself. Yanishkin, the 2 3-pointers for Penza, able to just get that on the board. No tries, as they didn't spend much time. And the Enisei 22, similar to the first result, which was 22-8. for Enisei, but it felt like this was a little bit more contested as time went on, and I can't wait to see the third match within a couple weeks' time here next week between these two sides as they give their Krasnoyarsk faithful a round of applause.
Looking ahead, looking into the opportunities, looking out wide, put the kicks ahead, earning them 2 tries. I think the variety in their game, the momentum they were building, the speed of their play, definitely the killer, definitely the part of the match where I think the Enisei had the advantage over the Lokomotiv Penza.
They get that advantage. They get that win, 22-6 here today, despite the red card, which plagued Russia, the Enisei side of things, for the last 19 minutes, issued in the 60th minute at that. That was after you see this maul, excuse me. Enisei might have been able to put a few more on the board. If not for that, Penza just couldn't exactly take advantage, and we saw that as Enisei had possession in Penza territory for the first few minutes while still without a man, which I think made a big difference, and Penza just didn't have enough time in order to catch up. Three kicks today for Geisen, as Ali mentioned. 2 of those conversions, one of them a goal. Yanishkin 2 for 4 in his kicks today. Might have been a little different. A couple of them, though, more difficult. You can see there were a couple of opportunities for Penza down the stretch, and Enisei able to just do enough to keep them out of getting past that line. We saw some of the stars come out for Enisei. Simplakevich, known on the world stage after playing in some World Cups in his time, and Mieski from that Georgia U20 squad as well, running down in the final moments, the final try. So really a touch of a few different places in Europe making an impact on this one today, though it was all about Russia today with these 2 Russian sides, these 2 Russian teams here. 2 of the 8 from Russia here in the Rugby Europe Super Cup. So that does it with the interview. It's always great to hear from both sides of the equation in their first experience here in the Rugby Europe Super Cup. Here is what has happened thus far here on opening weekend. We saw the Netherlands beat the Belgian side from the Brussels Devils 34-13 in the opener yesterday, followed by the Lusitanos from Portugal defeating the Iberians 34-19. And then here today, the Russians, Enisei over Lokomotiv Penza 22-6. The Russians beating the Russians here, the 2 Russian sides in the Eastern Conference. We'll see that final fixture later on in the month of October. But round 2 begins next week on Saturday. We'll do it all over again. Make sure to come back here wherever you're watching and join us once again. For Ali Engelhardt and the rest of our team, I am Tom Eschen. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time, everyone.